Well, good morning. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. We're so happy to have you join us. And we're going to continue on with I guess this is a third part series this morning. Debbie, good morning. John and Julie and another Deb and Christy and Beth and Michael. Hold on, I want to go back. I missed somebody there. Fran, how are you? Wendy, good morning. Andrea, Lee, good morning. And you guys are great. Yes, and Julie from Sturgeon Falls. Vicky, good. And Julie, say hi to your mom and dad for me. Kathy, good morning to you. Kathy sent me a good study on probiotics. I'm going to talk about that maybe tomorrow. Jerry, how are you? Gail and Tony. Tony, that's the first time I think I've seen you up here, Tony. Another Carol, Angel, Pat, Ivanka, and Yolande. Good morning. Donna and Delia and Kim, our friend from Florida. You guys are great, okay? And Dorothy, I'm sorry. You guys are great. Look, have you ever seen a trigger finger? So let me just put a finger up here. A trigger finger is you do this and it locks up. You ever seen that? A trigger finger? Do you know what causes that? Right? It's a calcified tendon, okay? In medicine, they call it Dupuytren's contracture. Ooh, medicine. And giving everything a stupid name that you can't pronounce. And you don't know what it means. Why don't they just call it trigger finger? You know, okay? Because it locks up. It locks up. Did you know trigger finger, tendinitis, especially the plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendon, and of course you could injure all of those things, but one of the biggest causes of trigger finger is sugar. Yeah. Since it's a sign of insulin resistance. Now again, I know there's exceptions to that. You know, you use your people that grip all day or whatever can get a trigger finger, whatever. But there's a lot of people that grip all day and don't get a trigger finger. But I want to show you how this happens. Okay? I want to show you this in a little teaching. We call this, okay, when your tendinitis, why does that have to have anything to do with food? Because we call it glycation end products, AGE, apostrophe S. And actually it takes away, you get glycation as a form of free radical damage. Okay, it's part of, you know, you don't have the suppleness of your tendons. They lose their elasticity. And even in your skin, AGE, okay, glycation end products, take away the elasticity. It's part of free radical damage. It's part of aging. And sugar puts, AGE, sugar puts glycation into high speed mode. And it happens quickly because of sugar. So the last few days we've been talking about, I don't know, well, in the book on page 21, we call it check your engine light. And I hope you like that. Because your body gives you clues. Your body gives you clues to insulin resistance. Because, there are some, and we talked about this, there are tests. There are actually blood tests. If your triglycerides are high, you have insulin resistance. If your HDL is low, you have insulin resistance. 100%. You have fatty liver, elevated liver enzymes, you have insulin resistance. But a lot of times you have insulin resistance before those things happen, even in your blood work. And this is why we put that list, indicators and strong indicators. Ladies, even hormones, a lot of times has to do with a metabolic imbalance, and insulin resistance is part of that. Now remember what insulin resistance is. Cells sick and tired of seeing insulin come around. So when you eat, depending on what foods you eat, will tell you how much insulin you need. So when you eat sugar, remember, you're a body. For all those people that tell me, oh, I need sugar, man. No, you don't. Because your body does everything it can. Everything it can. It will take sugar out of your bloodstream. That's how toxic sugar is. Empty your bloodstream and you will find less than a teaspoon of sugar in your bloodstream. Your body's smart. Your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. Your body is made to get rid of sugar, and the hormone that does it, in combination with other hormones, but the main hormone is insulin. That's its job. It's got work to do. And the problem is, in our society today, where I talk about this all the time, that we're up to about 200 pounds of sugars a year, a dump truck load. And this creates havoc in your body. And we talked about this. Heart disease, still the number one, huge link to insulin. Cancer, huge link to insulin. People, I can't get over it. I can't get over if you have cancer, if you have heart disease, if you have Alzheimer's, they don't even talk about the diet. And yesterday I mentioned even, endocrinologist or whatever, you got diabetes, instead of him or her sitting you down in the office and saying, hey, you, no more sugar. They send you to a dietitian, God bless them, but they're telling you, well, you better have some carbs because your sugars could go low since you're on medication that the doctor gave you. Oh, I go, it's the problem. The problem is the sugar. The problem is the sugar. And it creates havoc in the body, because when your cells resist insulin, when that neighbor who drives you nuts comes around all the time, your body creates a response. Its main response to insulin, when you have insulin resistance, is inflammation. And inflammation damages, because again, let me just quick little teaching. Inflammation, look, if you got a fever, that's good. Fever is good for you. If you have a virus, you got a bacteria, you want a fever because it's fighting. It's helped to fight. It's helping to kill the bug. You get that. But inflammation, it doesn't go away inflammation is a fever that doesn't go away. Well, that destroys primarily blood vessels. Inflammation destroys blood vessels. It starts with the Teflon layer of your blood vessels. And then you get a double whammo. You got inflammation, right? Caused by insulin resistance. And two, you have free radical damage. Free radical, think about it. Take an apple, cut it in half, right? What's going to happen right before your eyeballs? It doesn't take long. I love the experiment. And then it's starting to turn brown. What is that? It's aging. It's rusting out. That's what free radicals are. And we're all going to age. We're all going to rust out. But at what rate? So you can imagine, inflammation damages the blood vessels. Free radical damage damages your blood vessels. It damages cells like kamikaze pilots. They're free radicals. The cell loses an electron and it's out of control. And it's part of life. I get that. I mean, come on. I don't care what you do. You are going to age. I don't care how much Botox you use or whatever. It's part of life. Okay? It's part of life. But you don't want it to accelerate. And that's why diet is so important. Diet is so important. And if you do nothing else for insulin resistance, if you do nothing else, I recommend you do the reset to get started. But if you do nothing else, just cut out sugar. Because it's not only inflammation, it's not only free radical damage. I put free radicals into two categories, okay? Oxidative, meaning the apple. You got that one? It's oxidative, meaning the very oxygen that we live by will kill us. The very oxygen we live by will kill us. It'll rust us out. Right? Now that's why I love antioxidants. So take an apple, and on one half of it, just pour a little bit of lemon juice. Now you're going to get an antioxidant juice, an antioxidant. That side of the apple will stay white longer than the other side that's turning brown pretty rapidly. You see what an antioxidant does. The most powerful antioxidant in the world is pine bark extract. That's why I love it. That's why I love Navital. Anyway. And then part of, it's sort of classified as free radical damage, is what we call AGE, glycation. Glycation means that it loses that elasticity, and that's part of, and this is really important for injury. You don't recover as well. Insulin will do that to you. Imagine. It'll age your skin, not only free radicals, but glycation. You lose the elasticity in your skin. You'll dry up like a prune. It's all part of it. And it's the diet. You can't control everything, but you can control what you put in your mouth. And you folks, you get it. You get it. Good for you. Okay? So imagine like tendonitis, trigger finger, Achilles problems. I got sore heels all the time, and I get spurs that are growing. Yeah, and that can be arches. I get all that. It can be mechanical, but a lot of it has to do with the diet because of what we call glycation. And you get that, you get bursitis, and you get these tendinitis, plant. You know what? I tell you what's on steroids, meaning that there's so much of it today comparatively, is what we call plantar fasciitis. Well, why is it so much of that today? Plantar fasciitis. It's like an epidemic. It's sugar. We weren't meant to eat that much sugar. And the body's reacted big time to that. And like I said, there isn't an area of your body that won't be affected by that. Now let me ask you another question. What are bears doing right now? They're sleeping. They're hibernating. You know how a bear and animals store for the winter? What do they eat? Fruit. Yeah. Now, because somebody was on the our Facebook group yesterday, and I get a kick out of it. Okay, like, does Dr. Martin really mean no fruit, no vegetables? Does he really mean it? I mean it. For a short period of time. But I'm going to tell you something in this day and age. Fruit is what? Overrated. Fiber is overrated. I'm not saying never have it. So don't come after me. Well, you can. I don't mind. You can, I know some people dismiss this because they're so ingrained in their thinking that the plant kingdom, which God gave us, is better than the animal kingdom. It's not true. It's not true. Bears don't eat berries for energy. Did you know that? Bears don't eat berries for energy. They can eat up to 30,000 blueberries a day. Whoosh! I love blueberries. But bears don't eat that for energy. They eat it for the winter. You know why? Because it's going to be stored as fat. It goes directly to their liver, and they store it. They make fat cells from, let me hear it, what are they making fat cells from? Fructose. Now, the problem in our society is not the fruit so much. It isn't. But it is a sugar that's very similar, and this is why you've heard me preach this so many times. It's called high fructose corn syrup. It is the antichrist of all sugars. And don't let the food industry fool you. They use it in everything. From cereals to ketchup. They say cane sugar. No, it's high fructose corn syrup. Just don't trust them as far as you can throw them. They're like a politician. They'll lie the food industry will lie through their teeth. And guys like me tried to hold them accountable years ago in labels. Tell us the truth on the label. You know what, the food company, they'd never put a label on if they could tell you that. They don't, and they'll say, well, we don't want to give away our trade secret. But really what it is, they don't want to tell you how much sugar they're using. I was in Costco the other day and I was looking at, what was it? Snacks. You know, the chocolates there. And it's dark on the bag. Dark, dark, dark. You know, dark chocolate. Well, dark chocolate should be good for you. Except this one, in about 3 pieces, had about 17 grams of sugar. 4 teaspoons of sugar in 3 little pieces. Holy moly. See, they hide that. But fructose, and I'm telling you, and I know people, I mentioned this yesterday about gout. People, oh, Dr. Martin, my husband can't have red meat because gout. No, it's not caused by red meat. The king wasn't because he was eating steak, although he was. He was drinking too much wine and beer. That is fructose, goes directly to your liver. And alcohol goes directly to your liver. It doesn't go, it goes through your gut, but quickly, right to your liver. And when the liver is full and part of uric acid is a byproduct in your body. Everybody makes uric acid. But some people, because they have insulin resistance, is the biggest factor. You might be skinny and get gout. But you're not clearing your uric acid, and uric acid is a byproduct of fructose. And that's why we see so much of it today. That's why you see so much of it. And then you have this glycation that I was talking to you about. It's one of the big reasons we see so much joint problems. And a lot of people don't realize, they got chronic pain, glycation, uric acid. These are byproducts of sugar. So a bear eats sugar, berries, fructose for storage. Ladies, I just got to start my day with a banana. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's going directly to your liver. And when the liver is full, the Costco parking lot is full. It's always full. It's going to be really full now with all the lockdowns. Okay, I got a little... Can I say this on the side? Why is Costco safer than some other place? Poor small business. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. Don't get into politics, Tony. I know, but my blood pressure goes up. Okay. But all I'm saying is, fructose is overrated because it's meant for storage. And never, 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 I mean never, drink fruit juice. Ever. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's apple juice with no sugar added. Yeah, but it's all sugar. It's all fructose. And it's going to go, it'll make a beeline for your liver at 100 miles an hour. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's Tropicana. It's got fiber in it. I don't care. It's 100 miles an hour off to your liver. Never, ever drink juice. Oh, when I see in the mall, those juice places. If public health was really public health officers. They wouldn't worry so much about the virus. They would go to those juice places and close them down. Close them down. They are horrendous for people. And people think, oh, that's so good for me, man. It's pure juice. Ooh, you're not meant to, you're meant to eat fruit, don't drink it. Now you can put a few berries in Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie. Okay? Give the kids that. Put a few berries in there. I got no problem with that. And put them in with your cream. And you can use a protein powder if you want. I love the bone broth. It's the best protein in the world is bone broth. Collagen protein. For everything. All I'm saying is, don't fool yourself. This is science, guys. The food industry. The thinking of the day. Oh, get away from those animal products. Fat makes you fat. And don't eat any steak or have it once in a while. And don't eat bacon because bacon is full of grease and it ain't no good for you. And be careful with your eggs because of cholesterol. It's not true, any of it. Any of it. The biggest problem is insulin. And when you have a steak, you need this much insulin. When you have fruit, you need that much insulin. It's the amount of insulin you need. Now, you're always going to secrete a little bit of insulin. You're eating fat, especially. You have a steak, get the fatty cut. That's where all the vitamins are. You want fat-soluble vitamins, like vitamin A. They're in fat. God put them in fat. Vitamin D, God put it in fat. Vitamin K, 2. God put it in fat. And fat don't make you fat. And I talked to you yesterday about quit counting calories. Who cares? It don't matter. It's not calories, it's insulin. It's how much your pancreas needs to secrete. And it's not only how much insulin you need to secrete, it's the speed at which something, look, if your body needs sugar, it'll take steak and turn it into sugar. Your body's unbelievable. But it's the speed at which that energy is going to be stored in your liver. And fruit, whoosh, goes quickly to your liver. Well, fruit juice gets there on a rocket ship. And fiber does. You know, there is... Fiber is... It's not like it's bad for you. It does slow down. You see, you're meant to eat an orange, not drink it. Well, what is it about eating an orange that slows it down? Well, you got fiber in the orange. I get that. You know, it's not like I don't know that. Well, Dr. Martin, why do you do that? Why do you rail against fiber? It's just because I'm trying to undo it in your mind that you can't live without it. Yes, you can. Because the food industry made fiber the Superman. It made fiber a hero because they wanted to sell their cereal. It wasn't because it was good for you. Some of my guru friends that work for the food industry, they disagree with me, but it's not science, it's marketing. And they're into that big time. So it's been interesting when we looked over all of the check engine light, the things that a lot of people would never, ever, ever equate with their diet, right? There's no real drug to get your triglycerides down. Well, they made one. It's a fish oil, for heaven's sakes. It's just a glorified fish oil, Visipa. I'm not against it. The only thing is it's $400 a month. It's just fish oil. It's a pharmaceutical grade fish oil. Do I like it? Yeah. I'd rather you take that than a doctor give you a statin drug. Much less side effects. I got no problem with that. You know, if it's you got a drug plan, they want to, but you can take fish oil. You don't need a prescription to take fish oil. And you know what we think about fish oil and high DHA oil. You hear that? I don't want it to be hollow up there. I never want my brain to shrink. I don't want it shrinking. That's what Alzheimer's is. Sugar shrinks your brain. And when you don't eat animal fat, because only DHA, you can have plants and you get about 1% converted to DHA for your brain. Why not just eat DHA when you have a steak, when you have fish? And I have fish every day. Every day I have fish in a capsule. In a capsule. It's like, you know, I'm big on DHA. EPA, yeah, but DHA is much better. How many years have I been saying this? EPA is good. But DHA is a long chain fatty acid. The longest chain. What does that mean? It's the most absorbable. Your body is made up of your brain's made up of DHA. Fathead. Take it as a compliment. Okay. Did we have fun? Did we have fun? So if you're trying to lose weight, lay off the fruit. Lay off the fruit. Animals are smart. They eat fruit so that they can hibernate. Well, you don't need to hibernate. Although we're going in lockdown, you'd be hibernating. Ooh, anyway, don't get me going. Okay, so tomorrow, afternoon session, 4 p.m. We'll give you a notice of that again, okay? Friday, question and answer. I've seen some questions come in already. I like that. Lots of questions. Send in the questions. I'll try and answer all of them on Friday. Book. If you don't have a copy of the #1 bestseller, The Reset, it's for sale. We appreciate it. You have no idea. Tony Jr. and I appreciate it big time. And the Martin Clinic Facebook group, what a great group. People are very smart, you know. Very, very smart. I love it. And they're sharing all their ideas and recipes and things like that. I'm hungry all day just looking at all your recipes you're putting up on the Martin Clinic Facebook group. Ideas for the reset. It's great. Great. And if you don't get our emails, make sure you sign up for our emails. That is at martinclinic.com. Okay, so questions for Friday, let us know. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you soon.